Hi, today we are looking at section 2.2, which deals with questions involving credit card use. Now, we're essentially doing the exact same types of calculations as we did in the previous section. The only main difference is most of our questions involve credit cards, which credit cards typically have a much higher interest rate than, say, a loan from a bank or a credit line. So typically, most credit card interest rates are around 20%. So, like I mentioned, we're doing the same as last section, except for we'll be dealing with credit cards. So, for example, you see a computer you want to buy for $2,623.95, including taxes. You don't currently have the money to purchase it and plan on paying for it with a credit card. And you are planning to pay $110 a month until it is paid off. You essentially have two options. You have two different credit cards. One is your bank credit card, which has an interest rate of 14.5% compounded daily. So that's something else with credit cards. Often you will also have compounded daily. We also have apply for a store credit card, which offers a rebate of $100 plus an interest of 19.3% compounded daily. We want to know which is the better option and by how much. So we are going to be using our TVM solvers again because we have regular monthly payments. So I'll write out two different ones, one for our bank card, because that was first, and one for our store credit card if we choose that option. Okay, so we essentially have N, I, PV, PMT, FV, P/Y, C/Y, and payment. Okay, so going through it for a bank card, we don't know our N, so we'll be actually solving for that first. Our I for our bank card is 14.5%. Our present value would be how much computer costs, so negative $2,623.95. Our payments, we plan on paying $110 a month. We have a future value of 0 because we plan on paying it off. Our payments per year is going to be 12 because it's monthly. Our compounding periods per year is 365. And we've got payment at the end. So now we'll exit off the TVM solver, go back into it, select solving for N. And we get that N is equal to 28.34. So essentially that's how many payments we make. So if we want to know the total amount it costs, we can take that and multiply it by our payment amount. So we've got 110, which is our payment amount, times 28.34. And if we use our bank card in Rand, it's going to cost us $3,117.40. Now, if we do the store card, we're going to have very similar things. So we've got n equals, we'll be solving for our interest rate in this case, though, is higher at 19.3. Our PV is going to be different though, because essentially we start out with 2,623.95, but we subtract that instant rebate. So that gives us 2,523.95. So we'll put that in as a negative value for our PV. We still have our payment is 110. Future value is going to be 0 because we're paying it off. Payments per year is 12. Compounding periods per year is 365. We'll have payment at the end. And we're solving for n. So n in this case gives us 29.00. So 29 payments. So we pay it off quicker, but we have to figure out, or sorry, we pay it off slightly longer. And we'll have to figure out how the actual cost compares. So our cost in this case is going to be our 110 times our 29 payments. And that gives us $3,190. So we can see that the store card, even though we have a $100 instant rebate, is still more expensive. If we want to know by how much, we can just subtract them. So we can go 3,190 minus $3,117.40. And we get $72.60. So we can say our bank card is cheaper by $72.60. Now, what you will have noticed also with these examples is even though we are essentially only borrowing money for about 2.5 years, the amount of interest we're paying is much greater than the previous questions that we've been dealt with. And that's because of a much higher interest rate with credit cards as well as that daily compounding.